Y'all remember that episode where Superman got arrested for basically using his powers and he wasn't supposed to, apparently? This is funny because he was so loved that while he was getting arrested, people were having a good time, police included. Talk about hilarious. Might be my favorite Superman of all time, or one of my favorite Supermans of all time. Partly probably thanks to nostalgia, guys. Don't judge me. I don't think we ever got to see this universe version of Batman. There's implications that he does exist in this universe, at least, because they literally say it.
The Caped Crusader.
That's Batman.
But I might actually be the only person in YouTube history to actually analyze his power levels, though. You ever wondered how strong he was, though? You guys know, since he's a version of Superman, he can do the standard Superman stuff like super strength, laser vision, or heat vision. It's basically confirmed that his heat vision in this show is light speed, at least.
Fortunately, light travels faster than sound.
He can actually do X-ray vision, super breath, or cold breath. He can not only fly, but he can fly at super speed, which you're probably going to see a lot of speed stuff in this video. Like, we can see him sprint fast, literally dig real fast and make himself like a corkscrew.
I'll vibrate so fast that I could displace my molecular structure.
This is not just a statement. We literally see him do it, basically make himself be able to phase, going through solid force fields or objects. He can use his strength along with his other abilities at the same time, like lifting heavy stuff while also flying. And of course in combat, like the fact he can actually punch through thick concrete. I mean, he has to be bulletproof. He's the man of steel, right? There was literally a bomb and he ate it. And the bomb literally exploded inside of him, so it shows his insides are durable too. He has like this extended aura, like that extends a few millimeters from his skin, which is why he's durable and such.
Anything close to me is contained within an aura that extends a few millimeters from my skin.
A really good healing factor to where he will heal on the spot this fast. It's the stuff you already know of about his story, about he's an alien from another planet that looks humanoid, of course, but yeah, he's actually an alien technically, which is why he can do all this crazy stuff under a yellow sun. There would even be times in the show where he would actually sport the Kryptonian attires. You gotta love their interpretation of the black suit. Still falls in love like us mere mortals, though. There's no universe really out there where he doesn't have a weakness to kryptonite for the most part. When we're talking about fighting, one could say he knows like a slight thing or two about just hand-to-hand via learning how to use your opponent's strength against them. Like in this case, you can literally see him actually do stuff like this and even use a kick, something you don't even see him do often in the series. Look at Superman taking a stance. That's funny. Superman in this universe actually got melee combat training or just fighting training in general, training with other Kryptonians, and he's a quick study, they say.
You're a very quick study, but you've already mastered its finer points. You've won 3 out of 4 matches.
We've actually seen him using a blade. I remember watching this show as a kid and wondering, why can't nobody tell that's Superman? He doesn't have nothing covering his face, but just some glasses. Let's get into it. He lifts up stuff like this with laughable ease that he can literally bend steel with his bare hands. And this gun he can bend. When it comes to bending steel, there was this elevator that was falling. Of course, Superman has the strength to slow it down and stop the weight of it. Thick steel doors he can rip off. Even after being just exposed to kryptonite, he was still strong enough to rip out of these thick metal doors, for example, with his raw strength. Stated out of his own mouth, he can lift cars.
That would have been tough after I started bench pressing cars.
And this kind of stuff is proven. When this car was about to fall, he catches it. We literally see him lift up a car with ease. Oh, what do you know? Another car that's about to fall he can catch. Literally strong enough to stop a truck from taking off. Vehicles this big, Superman can stop with his super strength. Like this particular vehicle was technically armored and it was moving on its own. With a simple punch, he can stop this vehicle on the spot. With probably less than 1% of his strength, he can easily stop armored vehicles or just send them flying with a punch if he really just wanted to. There was like this runaway bus. He can easily stop the bus with laughable ease. Decent side structures like this that's going down, he can overpower it by just pushing against it. A Superman video wouldn't be complete if I didn't show him at least once saving a plane or lift it up from falling, confirmed in the newspaper. Superman has the raw strength to divert this big structure with his physicals so it blasts in another direction and not hit that area at all. There's plenty of proof he can lift over hundreds of tons with little effort because this huge space shuttle, their thrusters wasn't working. He was able to help give them a boost and lift them all the way with his raw physical strength. With ease, no effort really. And you can see him right here doing it. He literally can stop a train with his physical strength. He even stated out his mouth.
I'm going to stop the train.
Implied that he's literally stronger than a locomotive. Not to mention we actually got visuals of him having the raw strength to actually stop a train, stop it from hitting a wall. Superman is able to go into space and move gigantic satellite-type structures that are definitely bigger than buildings. Based on the size of this, he would definitely be able to lift over hundreds of thousands of tons. Like if skyscrapers were falling, he would definitely be able to move it or lift it, you know, Superman stuff. One of these support beams was about to break. Superman has the strength to help hold it up with his super strength. Yeah, Superman was pretending to be a cop here, constantly one shot knocking him out. Can obviously hit doors that far off the hinges. See, there was like these super enhanced boxers that were basically not human no more, to where they can punch this hard through a thick wall. He decides not to move. You ain't gonna move him despite your enhanced strength. It's that simple. And he pretended like he was going to punch him with everything he had, but he flicked him and knocked him out. Sleep time. He can punch punching bags off and even bust them. This is probably a no-duh moment, but since them super boxers can punch through thick concrete walls, of course Superman can. I mean, it's obvious he could punch through walls. We literally see him punching through brick walls with ease. You got examples like this of how hard he can hit, like kicking this rock all the way to space, it looks like it seems. Literally strong enough to kick big things like this into space. It's obvious he can hit hard to the point where he can make his own earthquake in the building to where the building's about to fall. Lois even gave her opinion on how strong this earthquake had to be.
Did you feel that? It must have been at least a 5.
If you're not familiar with earthquakes, there's like this YouTube channel. I thought this would be cool for you guys to see about how dangerous an earthquake could be. That's at least a 5. They said Lois stated her opinion about it. Minor damages to weak buildings. It's clear in the clip that he was shaking the entire building at least, but if we have to take what Lois said as Bible, that would mean he could more than likely level or cause devastation to a city block. So we just really getting started, and he can already with ease tremble entire buildings, like literally shake them. And if we take what Lois said seriously, without just counting just visuals, if we take what she said as seriously, this wouldn't even be his limit. His hits would technically be able to shake an entire block. Multiple buildings would tremble from his hits if we take what Lois said seriously with his punches or strikes. There's like this literal storm of clouds. Simply by blowing, he can blow clouds, literally, that much. There was like this literal tsunami. He literally started spinning at a crazy amount of speed to reverse it, making his own trench, undersea trench. In the actual episode on what he did, Superman builds undersea trench. Tsunamis obviously vary in size. Some of them can even be taller than buildings. The one that we saw Superman reverse was definitely bigger than buildings. And Superman was able to reverse one, so it kind of lets you know the amount of energy he can produce on the spot, you know. Like, you can literally see examples of this, of his fighting speed, when this guy had like a soundproof barrier. Blitzed him so fast before he could react to steal the gun out of his hand before he even noticed.
How'd you do that?
Simple. Broke the sound barrier.
Like, this occasion literally proves he's faster than a speeding bullet. He literally outsped the bullet. Mid-flight, he's fast enough to walk it down before hitting her. Here's a clear example of his fighting speed or combat speed, catching all these bullets. His fighting speed to catch bullets here, he's completely off guard. He has the fighting speed to where this super android, for example, blitzes him and he's able to block her attack that fast mid-blitz. Imagine trying to blitz Superman twice after the first time failed. And you try to do it again and it just doesn't work. There's implications he can intercept missiles. They literally had a chart of Superman saving people and stuff. You know, snipers shoot bullets a lot faster than normal bullets. He can catch it with fighting speed. Even if it's multiple, he can consistently catch all these bullets. Moments where he actually move his hands ridiculously fast at super speed, with his hands moving like a blur like that. Like, it's little simple stuff. Like him repairing all these bricks shows his combat speed. Blitzing these beings before they can do anything. He read an entire book in that pretty much instant. I hear he can move faster than I can see. He ran right past him. They didn't even see what happened. Like, he's absurdly fast. He went to go get something real fast. Like, he literally flew all the way from the United States, across the entirety of the United States, across the whole Pacific Ocean, past Japan, all the way to China, and flew back within that same instance. There was a satellite outside of the atmosphere, and he flew there pretty much instantly, y'all. Matter of fact, he's so fast to where Lois was literally saying different things she wanted from across the planet, like Japan. He went there that quick and back. Like, I'll let you hear what she literally said out of her mouth as Superman was doing it. Zipping across the world that quick and getting all the stuff she was talking about.
If I wanted the perfect pearl from Japan, I wouldn't expect it to just appear. Any more than if I had some sudden craving for Swiss chocolate, I wouldn't expect you to go zipping off to Switzerland. No more than if I wanted snow from the Andes. I mean, they're just idle fantasies. And they're not something that's important to You gotta stop doing that.
Like, you heard her say it herself. Just to give you an idea of how far he went, she literally said Switzerland. That's the type of coverage of distance he covered that quickly. The same with him zipping all the way to Japan that quick. Thousands of miles, like 6,000 miles. even going to the Andes. Like, he's literally going over 4,000 miles in like dang near a second back and forth. No matter how you calculate it or how you want to look at it, he can fly at least millions of miles per hour. It's a just disrespect.
But you could fly fast enough to be almost invisible.
Yeah, but you'd be vaporized.
He was moving so fast, he was burning part of the street by moving so fast.
And I'm more interested in seeing how fast you are. First one to Paris wins. That's the best you can do. I'll race you to China.
They treat these distances like a joke. He can use his own speed to reverse this superstorm, and he's actually strong enough to clear it up himself, making it back sunny again. There was like a nuclear bomb right here. He was point blank range next to a nuclear bomb, y'all.
There was a nuclear bomb down there. They set it off as soon as I arrived.
Yeah, so he can just casually shrug off a nuke. Nuclear explosion, blast. He can stand at point blank. His goal was to put it in like a safe place, and he did. It blew up right there. He was right next to it, and he was able to hold all this down, even though it had the power of a nuke.
Nuked, point blank, took all those blasts.
It's literally confirmed. He says it himself that he can use his speed in combat to increase his striking power to hit harder.
If I hit it at maximum speed.
Like, I've already given you examples of strength in this video so far, but he literally can hit hard. You want to get a somewhat idea of his limits? See, here's the thing. There was this asteroid that was ridiculously large coming down to Earth. I'm going to let them explain to you how big this asteroid was real quick.
Fascinating what kind of surprises the universe can turn up, isn't it?
Nightfall is approximately 17 miles across, traveling at close to 30,000 miles an hour.
Yes, you heard that correctly. There was literally an asteroid 17 miles across coming at the Earth at 30,000 miles per hour. That's the name Nightfall you heard them say. They said Nightfall. They naming asteroids. They're naming that. I'll let them continue explaining.
My calculations are correct. In a little more than 4 days, it's going to hit the Earth.
What kind of damage could this cause?
Superman, it could knock the Earth off its axis. It could throw us out of our current solar orbit. See, this one is larger than the meteor that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. The crater it creates itself will throw enough dust into the air to start a new ice age.
You heard that scientist say it himself. He believes if that something that big was to hit the Earth, it could possibly move the Earth out of its rightful spot in the solar system. And it was deadlier than the asteroid that made the dinosaurs go extinct.
But you're asking me to fly 1,000,000 miles into space to stop a piece of rock the size of Metropolis. I guess we're about to find out what my limits really are.
This meteor was astronomically large.
It's their opinion that I'll achieve a 50 megaton explosive force.
We basically got a confirmed number at a bare minimum of how hard he can hit, because they literally said it. He can hit with at least, by their calculations, he can hit with at least 50 megatons of force. Just for those that are wondering, that pretty much confirms Superman can hit like a nuclear bomb. I mean, they literally just confirmed that Superman's hits, if he flew at you with his crazy speed, he could wipe out an entire city or sink an entire city like a nuclear bomb. And for those that need visual proof, we literally see him busted up. It did damage him though. So one could say this is kind of approaching his limits, because this asteroid did push him to a point where he actually lost his memory.
Where you from?
I don't know.
I personally think that 50 megatons is like a bare minimum, and he could be hitting with more force. Like, this is literally something the size of a city, Metropolis itself, coming at you with crazy speed, faster than a bullet. Like, something this large coming at you faster than a bullet by several times. Like, one could say he blew something apart with his punching power that was literally going to shake the entire planet. So yeah, as a bare minimum, we know he can cause nuclear damage with his strikes flying at maximum speed. But there's even more implications that he could possibly be able to shake the Earth, since he broke something that could actually throw the Earth off its axis. Something that can tremble the Earth. What the heck do you think it would have done to the moon? There's implications that this Superman could cause catastrophic devastation in the continents, or even a moon-sized structure. One of the main reasons why I think that 50 megatons thing was an extreme lowball, and that's nowhere near Superman's limit, is because this meteor was more dangerous, apparently, than the one that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. And if you guys remember, like, it's one thing having the power to literally lay a waste to an entire city, but the way they're talking about this junk, they're talking about this as a planetary threat. Realistically speaking, this would be a threat to the entirety of an entire country, because you could actually Google calculations of the crater that caused the dinosaurs to go extinct on Wikipedia. Like, I'm not making this stuff up. They literally compared that asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. They said it was the equivalent of 4 billion times more power than an atomic bomb. And it was way more powerful than a nuclear bomb by billions of times, 4 billion times more powerful than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. They was implying the Earth was doomed and Superman flew into it with crazy force. This is implying, if we were to take them calculations seriously, he had to hit with billions of times more force than a nuclear bomb. This would imply that Superman's punches have enough force to level the entire country of the United States. So you probably thought of Superman hitting with the force of an atomic bomb was impressive. He can hit with billions of atomic bombs worth of force at once. They said it, not me.
Throw us out of our current solar orbit. See, this one is larger than the meteor that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs.
They used words like 72 teratons, and this one that Superman destroyed was even bigger. You see what I'm saying? The meteor that apparently destroyed the dinosaurs was only 6 miles wide, while the one Superman did was 17. I mean, it's already proven he can tremble the entire country or even level the entire country with his hits via flying at ramming speeds and stuff. See, here's the thing about this asteroid. He broke it up. He didn't completely knock it off Earth's cores. Instead, he broke it up to where it was originally 17 miles, but he broke it up to the point where it was only 3 miles. So it was still devastating, and he had to go finish the job, really.
A rather large portion, approximately 3 miles across, remains on a collision course with Earth.
I just want to give you guys a visual perspective on the asteroid that was 3 miles wide, on how big that would be compared to a mountain. Like, this asteroid was 6 miles wide, and I'm going to show you in 2 seconds, I'm going to show you how he pushes an asteroid that's 3 miles wide, half this size, something that's literally bigger than most mountains. I mean, obviously, this pretty much confirms he can literally lift up or move mountains themselves. This really should be a no-brainer that he can literally move mountain-sized structures. I literally just showed you him shattering a big chunk of this anyway, so of course he can move mountains. This asteroid he moved was 3 miles wide, but this, just to give you an idea, this is what an asteroid looks that's 2,000 feet, not miles, just feet, compared to some huge buildings to realize, like stuff that's way bigger than buildings, even bigger than the Empire State Building. Superman's raw strength, we literally see him fly up to it and push something this big away. I mean, you might as well say he was moving mountains or even multiple buildings, even though space changes the weight of stuff, but it was coming towards Earth with a crazy velocity. And he diverted it. It was so crazy. Everybody was celebrating. They were still treating this like the end of the world, basically, even though it was 3 miles wide. So it still would have caused catastrophic destruction. If he can level a country, there's definitely no doubt he can level mountains. That's a no-duh moment, right? He pushed that junk away easily. Imagine what his punches feels like. Yeah, mountains are going to fall. There was this time Superman had to drill through the entire planet, like literally by drilling like a saw to get to the other side of the planet fast enough. One could say he could drill or hit so hard he could make an earthquake in this vicinity, for example. These people were feeling it, and he busted through. He can match strength with beings that have similar abilities to him, like other Kryptonians, like this being, for example. It's also shown he can punch and damage beings that have similar durability to himself, beings that actually have more fighting experience than himself and have the same powers as him. He can still use Kryptonian weaponry to get the advantage over him with striking power. We've seen him fight superpowered beings like a little scuffle here, I would say. There was this super android he had to physically overpower, and just because you have super strength doesn't mean you can overpower Superman. And he can eat their punches. Even when they try to do their disintegration blast at him, and reflexes and everything put together, he can deflect such disintegration type blasts. But everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed. You probably didn't know Dean Cain's Superman was this strong. You probably didn't know he had the force or punching power to strike with nuclear explosions times 1 billion. Nobody in a million years would have expected for this Superman to have punches to have a possibility of being strong enough to tremble the Earth or even possibly move it from orbit. What his punch is. He may not have the same striking force as his comic book self, but he still has enough power to tremble smaller planetoids, destroy smaller planetoids, and split a city in half. But what do you guys think? Do you respect Dean Cain's Superman? I want to hear your thoughts below. I think I'm the only person in YouTube history, or the first person in YouTube history to make a How Strong video on Dean Cain's Superman, but that's none of my business. Hope you guys enjoyed. All of this wouldn't be possible without you guys. Thanks for the donations. Thank you for all the supporters that's been subscribed this long. Respect the strength of Dean Cain's Superman. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.